Now look how shiny this thing is. I polished this up a little more than the other side. What's up guys? Today I'm going to show you the procedure of how to polish the front fork outers. As you can see, there are some areas where oxidation is happening and they don't look good. When you have been riding for a long time, little rocks on the road will hit the surface of the metal like that, and that will eat through the clear coat which is already done in the factory. So what I'm going to do is take this apart from the bike and then sand these with the electric sander and then give a nice final coat. Let's get started. Okay, so now the bike is lifted on the leveled surface. Let's take off the brake caliper and put this on the box. Now place a screwdriver in here and loosen the axle nut on the other side. Now the socket I'm using is 5/16. That fits perfectly. If you do not have that, you may be able to get by using 24mm socket. The slack is very little, you know, it's almost the same. Well, this is a better fit, but there's still a little slack to it too. This one slightly looser, but it's not bad. But I'm using 5/16. Make sure to keep track of these things. There we go. Okay, so let's remove the fender by taking off these bolts. Look how dirty that thing is. I'm gonna have to clean it later. A little change of plan. I was going to take off these forks, but I got this plastic cover. So basically I can just cover everything up and then spray the forks without removing them. That makes the job so much easier, right? Okay, so now the fender and the wheel, they are removed. I am now ready to clean these up and use the electric sander to sand these up, and then I'll be doing the final coat after that. There you go. Okay, now I am cleaning these forks. There's a residue of the double-sided tape here, but I'll be using the paint remover after cleaning these forks, so that will soften this up. I did a little masking here, and you can see that oxidation is happening here and there. If you are going away from it, it's not really that obvious, but when you go closer, you can see a bunch of spots and they're not looking good. Anyway, I'll be starting to put the paint remover on these, and then wait for a few minutes, and then clean them up again, and I'll be using the electric sander to sand these up. The residue of that double-sided tape, it will come just right off. It will soften it as I put this paint remover on it. Okay, so now I am ready to sand the fork outer tube. But before doing that, let's cover everything up like this, and also on the other bikes like that. I have also covered the inner tubes, you know, with these plastics too, so there's no dust gets into this outer tube. I'll be using an electric sander like this, and then I have a metal polish like these, but I'll probably be using that later. And make sure to use a respirator. Okay, I'll be using the 800s. Look at that. Yeah, let's go for a finer grit. So I'm gonna go with 1200s now. So the areas where you see the change in shape like that, it's very hard to sand with the electric sander. So I'll be using a sandpaper like that. The grade is 2500, and I'll be using my hand to sand that. I'll also be sanding the backside too, because that's very hard to reach area. Oh, good. That alone took away a lot of these little spots. Alright, I don't know how much camera would actually catch it, but as I wipe the particles, look at that. It's already that clean. It's really clean already. So I'm going to continue sanding it with the finer sandpapers. But before doing that, I would like to work on these little corners like that, the hard to reach areas. You know, they are very hard to reach with the with fingers and also sandpaper. So what I'm using now is this. It's a little sander. Yeah, it's a tiny sander with a sanding tip. See? So I use that to sand these little areas, the corners, like that. Let's get to work. I feel like being a dentist. This is what dentists do every day. Okay, let's do this other side. Right there. That's it. And use the sandpaper. There you go, what a great tool. Let's continue on to the back side, which is very hard to reach. I am now starting with the 5000s. After this, I'm going to use the metal polish to polish this up. Here goes 10,000s. Alright, so let's take a look closely. Nice and shiny, almost like chrome. I am now using the white diamond and apply that lightly on the fork outers. I will be using a cloth to polish them, but I'm also using a sander with that to polish them up. Now you see it darkening like that. That means it's working. Now look at that. Now look how shiny this thing is. I polished this up a little more than the other side. I am now using this Mother's aluminum polish, and I'll apply that lightly on the surface like that, and I will be using the electric sander to buff it up. See how shiny it can get. Here, iPhone does a better job showing how shiny this thing actually is. Look at that. I can see myself in it. Hey! This is the original stock fork outer. The other side is not finished, so it's dull, but this side is shiny. Okay, so the polishing is done. The fork tubes are now nice and shiny. You can see me in there. See that? I have placed a cover on my bike, and I have also made this little thing here. This thing is movable, and so are the fork tubes, so I can spray from different angles. So the clear coat I'm using is this. I'll be spraying it twice, so what I have done is going to be safe for good. So I have given them a nice clear coat, so you can take a look at that. It's looking so much better than before. It was shinier before, before spraying. As a raw metal, it was much shinier. And with the spray, it got a little dull, but it still is better than before. So anyway, I am now ready to install the wheel and the brake caliper, so let's get started. Okay, so let's loosely mount this fork slider cap. So the tightening torque here should be 60 to 65 foot-pounds of torque. That's loosely around 81 to 88 newton meters. I go by metric, so let's say 85 newton meters. There we go. Let's double check the rotation. Good, nice and smooth. Perfect. Now, let's place a brake caliper on the bike. Okay, so let's mount the fender. Okay, so let's tighten the slider cap. The tightening torque is 10 to 14 foot-pounds of torque. That's loosely around 14 to 19 newton meters. I go by 60 newton meters. It is suggested to tighten the rear first. There we go. One more. Here's a little something I would like to do at the end. I got this front axle nut cover. I put them on and then it's all done. Pretty heavy. It comes with a little screw, so I guess I just put that on. The screw side at the bottom, I guess. Alright, all done. Let's take a look. Nice and shiny. A little accent right here as well. You no longer see the black spots that are on here, which is good. Take a real close look and then there's nothing there. Nice and shiny. Looking good, right? Look at the other side. Nice and shiny. I have the reflectors to add at the end, but this is a minor thing, so. Anyway, I hope you find my video beneficial. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.